Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 20 for Pure Speed Elite Series here at Road America. Our first road course of the season, a fun track for those that enjoy road courses, but a rather challenging track for those who prefer ovals. Turn 1, lap 1 will be definitely a challenge, but these drivers will soon spread out. We will visit Victory Lane. Stay tuned to find out as I'm here with Jordan McGraw, bringing you all the action from the booth. Jordan, how's it going tonight?
It's going great. I'm just kind of trying to learn this track so I can be a handy dandy color commentator. But this place really fun, really fast, and I'm really excited to watch these guys go around this place.
Absolutely. We're on board with Andrew Wisdom right now, and I can tell you what, guys, this guy is absolutely flying. He is going to be one that we need to watch tonight. A 2-minute, 12-second lap time. So we've already had people congratulating him before the race, saying congratulations on the win. So keep your eye out for him. He's going to be a fast one, and he's already out here trying to put that first lap time out on the board.
X1000.
Oh, thank you so much for the biddies. I appreciate it. 1,000 biddies. Thank you. Let's take a look at Matt O'Brien. You know, I spoke to a lot of these guys beforehand, and he says, you know what? I'm not great at road courses here, and he's in chat with team chat with Wisdom, and he's like, I'm not going to be able to keep up with him, but I'm going to try my best. And I think we're going to see some good things out of him tonight. And tonight, it's all about consistency. Slower is better if you can be consistent about it. If you're one of these fast guys, but you can't keep it consistent and you're going off track, it's going to hurt you more in the long run, Jordan.
Oh, absolutely. This is a place where you obviously want to make lap time as fast as you can, but you overdrive one corner, you put one wheel off in the dirt in the wrong place, and it could absolutely ruin your entire race. So this is going to be incredibly mentally demanding. These drivers trying to go around this almost 4-mile racetrack in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it is going to be wild. Mr. Met, if I said 12-minute, which I really wouldn't be surprised if I said it, it's 2-minute, 12-second. So hopefully I didn't say 12-minute because we'd be like going backwards at that point. But yeah, some of these guys are super fast. Right now we're on board with Joel Conley in that number 62. And he is one that I did not get a chance to talk to, but he's looking pretty solid out there. So I'm excited to see what he can do. It's always great seeing him out there.
Yeah,
right.
I kind of wish you could see the times they're running, the relatives are running compared to each other, like in the old days when you'd watch qualifying and there'd be the little bubble at the bottom of the screen that moved back and forth compared to the other drivers who've made qualifying laps. You wish you could see that with some of these guys, so you never can tell what they're running until they hit the line.
Absolutely. And considering how long this track is, it takes a little bit to get to that lap time. And, you know, you and I were talking and you were out on track and saying, you know, I'm going through, I'm thinking I'm super fast, I'm in the green, and lo and behold, it's just the first lap. So it does not give you a lap time.
That's not even the lap, it's the warm-up
Right.
lap. It's like, it just feels so long. And it's kind of funny because this race, or this track, it doesn't feel overly long, but then it feels incredibly long. You kind of don't realize how much time you're spending on the track, and maybe that owes to how fun the place can be, as fast and wide open and challenging as it is. That could be just the enjoyment of it talking, but yeah, it's definitely an interesting place as far as your spatial awareness, time and space awareness. You can really kill a lot of time just trying to make a lap around this place.
Absolutely. And Jordan, we still have no one out here with a time yet. This is absolutely insane. So these guys are still going through, trying to get through that warm-up lap, and then their second lap will be the lap time here. So you guys see it right here. We have 30 laps tonight in the race. We're on John Honeycutt in that number 50 right now, and I do believe in practice he was around P5. Andrew Wisdom was the fastest so far in practice with a 2:12. But I'll tell you what, these guys are absolutely absolutely flying. There's going to be a huge difference in lap times. Oh, and Honeycutt hits the wall on the warm-up lap. Definitely going to hurt him. Matthew O'Brien is first on the board with the 2:15. We'll see if we're going to get others and see where they stand according to that.
Yeah, it's a real solid first lap. Right now, track conditions, there is a decent amount of grip in places, so really expect some of our more consistent drivers to be able to match the times they put up in practice. But it being a road course, it just takes one mistake to absolutely kill your lap time, and it takes one great corner to absolutely save your lap time. So we're never gonna know how fast they're running until they hit that lap.
Absolutely. And take a look at James Holzer. We're on board with him, and you can just see the wheel working that he is doing just all over the wheel. I mean, these cars get so extremely loose. They're so front heavy, and you're trying to brake, trying to woe the car down before you're entering the corners. And coming off, you have a whole other issue. You want to be the first on the gas to get down straightaways and get that speed and carry that momentum. However, you get on it too soon, you're going to lose it and you're going to hit the wall. So it is a fine line for these guys here tonight. It's going to test them in every aspect.
Yeah, off the corner, you want to get everything you can off the corner, but you have to stay disciplined and stay smooth, because it is real easy to spin those rear tires trying to get that lap time, and that can really hurt you, especially if you go around and loop it, because then you're starting in the back, and at a road course, no one wants to do that, because road courses, it's really tough to pass.
Yeah, starting position is everything, and Andrew Wisdom just going through the kink, getting ready to hit Canada corner up here, which can be an issue. Turn 2 is also an issue. You're going downhill, and you have to make sure that car is wound down, how I said before. So some of these turns can be a huge challenge, but Andrew Wisdom is fast. Like I said in practice, a 2:12. We'll see what he can get here, but we're coming up to close to the finish here in qualifying, Jordan. We have James Holzer with a 2:13, Ryan Crooks with a 2:13.7, Matt O'Brien with a 2:14, Wisdom comes out with a 2:12 once again. Jamie Haynes with a 2:15, sitting P5 with Joel Conley. Out there with the 2:17 with Giovanni Klein. He's got a 2:17.14. Jordan, I can tell you these lap times are a lot closer than what we saw in practice, and that is good news for viewers.
Yeah, that's really good news for the viewers. The track has a lot of grip, especially on that second lap. The tire is actually good and warmed up, and you'd think in a place like this, it would actually hurt the car just a little bit, but the laps are so long, it might burn off enough fuel to help your speed, as well as those extra, the tire pressures being up. I think that is really helping these drivers.
Absolutely. Gail Forrest says these races will push the drivers in a way some may not be all that used to. And you are absolutely correct. I mean, this race is our first road course. There is a lot of oval drivers that prefer ovals over road courses. I mean, it takes a lot of technical aptitude to, I don't even know if that's the right word, but to go through these courses, I mean, there's so many things that go with it. And as you can see, there's not a lot of drivers that have qualified yet. So some drivers having issues, Jordan, where they're hitting the wall, wrecking. So they're going to have to start in the back. And then some drivers just not having confidence that they really want. So they're choosing to start in the back. It's going to be a very interesting race here tonight.
Yeah, with the length of this racetrack, you spend so much time on the warm-up lap. If you screw up, if you slide the tires, you have that opportunity to reset yourself. But of course, with only 10 minutes to work your way around a racetrack that takes 2.25 laps for most mortals, it's a little under for some of these other drivers. But really, as we see Honeycutt just get incredibly loose off the carousel, he is really digging, trying to get to the start-finish line before the timer ends. But yeah, you have that opportunity to reset yourself and get yourself multiple opportunities, but eventually that timer is going to get to you.
Absolutely. And we have Andrew Wisdom, our pole sitter, with us here tonight. You're starting on pole. You have that crazy 2:12 lap time. How you feeling going into the race tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good. I was actually a little bit faster in quality than what I've been in practice, but it feels like the track has a lot more grip. So I feel like that may be bringing the field a little bit closer together. I think it looks like maybe third through six at least is kind of tight, or even second through six. So I'm kind of wondering if the track gripping up this much is going to equal things out a little bit, but I'm just hoping to maintain that advantage here throughout the race.
Absolutely. Well, a lot of luck to you tonight, and hopefully we'll see you in the booth after.
Hopefully, thanks.
All right, you heard it there from Andrew Wisdom, and you guys, they are lining up, it looks like, so let's go ahead and get out there with these guys. I'm trying to get there. We'll get there. All right, the grid. Here we go. We have Andrew Wisdom. He will be starting on pole with James Holzer. He's going to be starting on the outside with Ryan Crooks on the second row with Matt O'Brien in that number 17. In row 3, we have John Honeycutt, who he got the time down there, J-Mac. I'm surprised he was able to do that. Row 3, John Honeycutt in that number 50 with Jamie Haynes in that 58. Row 4 is Joel Conley in that number 62 with Giovanni Klein on the outside.
Oh yeah, in row 10 we have Enrique Quinones with Doc Holliday on the outside, and for the record, drivers 9 through 17 opted not to take a lap or were unable to complete a lap. Row 6, Dakota Kramer and Cole Snyder. Row 7 is Charles Mosley and Sean Burke. Row 8 is Austin Reedy and Sammy Harrell, and all by himself on row 17, not in position 17, alone on row 9 is Robert Reynolds to complete the field. 17 drivers starting the race tonight.
You know, and I was wondering at the beginning of the race at practice tonight, because there was not a lot of drivers. I think some of these guys are trying to hold back, not letting their cards all show. They want to not tell everyone what they have and trying to see what they can do here tonight. Some just not the most confident that they are, as they usually run the oval. So it's going to be crazy here tonight. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Thank you so much for coming out. You guys are amazing. Let me know who your driver is. Jay Ray says, thanks for the pre-race motivation. And Mary Jean says, good luck, Honeycutt. A lot of fans out here for these drivers, and I know they do appreciate it. So thank you so much. Andrew Wisdom will be leading us off, and man, oh man, I'm curious how tight it's going to be. We said it before, and then Andrew Wisdom, we brought him in here, and he's saying the same thing. There's more grip, which is making these guys a lot tighter in time. So it's going to be very interesting to see, will these guys be closer together in this race? I still think it's going to be a little spread out, but I think they're going to be closer than what we saw in practice.
Yeah, as this race goes along, the track is going to heat up and it's going to lose a little bit of grip. On top of that, these drivers, their mental acuity is going to slowly start to fade away as trying to hit their marks and stay off of each other will wear on them. So this start, they might be really close, but as the laps go along, these drivers probably going to start to get a little bit spread out, and it's going to separate the men from the boys, as the old saying goes.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm looking at all these manufacturers. There is one Toyota, and all the rest are Chevys. That is pretty wild.
And not a Ford out there. That's kind of wild.
No Ford. This is crazy. You can see these guys coming around. I want to take a look on board with Mr. Andrew Wisdom. It's a long pace lap, guys. There's a lot of pacing here tonight. I'm curious. I don't know that we're going to see a lot of cautions. I think we're going to see a lot of one-car incidents, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of cautions that will happen tonight. People are going to be spread out a little bit. You're going to see guys missing the turns. They're not going to be able to brake in time. That's what I'm thinking we're going to see, especially turn 2 and through the kink. The kink is especially tricky here. So there's a lot of issues, a lot of spots that can be pretty tricky that these guys are going to have to watch for.
Yeah, over braking, brake lockup. That's going to be something that a lot of these drivers are going to have to face. And as we noted in practice and test driving, you don't have the braking zone that you would think you have. A lot of these guys are going to have to get on the brakes a lot earlier, and if you miss it, you try to get on them a little hard, and you might lock them up. But hopefully they can make it through turn 1 here, as we're about to take the green.
We are about to take the green, and BK Doug, what's up?
Oh, there's already a car out there in the grass.
I saw a car earlier in the grass before that. Conley is already down a lap. Not quite sure what happened to that, but these guys are coming up the front stretch. The green flag has waved, and we are live for Road America. 30 laps of craziness here tonight. James Holzer already taking the lead. These guys going side by side into the first corner. This is going to determine quite a bit. Wisdom has a nice lead out there. Let's take a look at this as they are coming around. Everyone looks pretty solid here so far, Jordan.
Yeah, they're working turn 3 technically, but it's for all intents and purposes turn 2. They're heading down that long straightaway into the hard braking left-hander, and this is going to be a place where we're probably going to see a lot of action, especially on any restarts we get. Andrew Wisdom with about a 3-car length advantage. James Holzer in behind him, gets right on his bumper as they all tighten up, but they're going to make their way through the corner nice and smoothly as they are already starting to put a lot of gap between themselves and the rest of the field here.
Oh, a couple of guys off track. Let me see if I can find out who that is. They are back on track, just taking a super wide. The 45 getting off track. Joel Conley almost running into him, but they managed to hold it off there. The 63, that tough corner there, Jordan. We saw several that went off track around that corner.
Yeah, and you noted he started this race, I guess, on pit road, maybe? He was a lap down or something. But, yeah, lost all of his track position early, but he is out there making a lap as they try to work this first lap. For the most part, nice and smooth for most of these drivers, as we see a couple of guys getting into each other. Doc Holliday and Dakota Kramer making a little bit of that was Sammy Harrell and Doc Holliday, who made a little bit of contact there going through the carousel.
A lot of close racing for these guys around P12. Doc Holliday sitting at P12. Dakota Kramer in 11th right here. These guys are pretty tight out here, so a lot of good racing as they are coming around the kink. And man, yeah, it is going to be a wild night. Holzer is already, let's take a look, 1.3 seconds behind our current leader, Andrew Wisdom. So he is already off and running, trying to put a gap on it. And you know, he is I do believe an admin for this here tonight, and he's saying, you know, if something needs to happen with these guys, if I'm in the lead, you guys are gonna have to wait a second unless there's a huge gap. So he is a man on a mission tonight, and boy oh boy, he took that a little wide there, Jordan, as he's getting a little wiggly coming off the corner.
Yeah, this is definitely the time to be pushing. If you're the leader, want to get that distance so that then you can settle in and figure out a rhythm here. But already looking nice and strong. Had a 1.8 second lead when he hit the line as they are going down into the hard braking left-hander. All hard on the brakes, trying to get it woed down. Gonna hit that mark nice and smooth, just barely nicks the rubble strips. Uses plenty of that runoff there. Goes down again right on that white line, uses that exit, looking really, really smooth right behind him. James Holzer a little too much throttle off the corner, trying to keep up with that 9 machine. The 9 looking very smooth as he continues to pace the field here around Road America.
He most certainly is. Let's take a look at P3 right now. That is Ryan Crooks, newer to the league, but man, he has already made his presence known, running super strong out here, very consistent. He's got Matt O'Brien directly behind him in that number 17, and they are coming around the carousel right here, just doing a phenomenal job. Let's see how far back he is at the moment. I'm trying to take a look at that.
Oh, car off the track.
Yeah, he's about 6 seconds back. So our leader is just ever increasing that time of Andrew Wisdom, who is 2 seconds now ahead of James Holzer.
Yeah, back in 11th spot, 10th and 11th. Oh, and Joel Conley, he's off track in the kink. It's back further in the field. Some of these drivers still on top of each other. Conley and Robert Reynolds, they've both passed Doc Holliday. He got off track. So right now, a bit of a struggle in the back to try to work their way forward. But Robert Reynolds, who started dead last on the field, trying to wake his way forward as they go by the 43 machine of Sammy Harrell. It was wrecked. So a lot of action here in the mid to the back of the pack.
Yeah, there most certainly is a lot of single car incidents. I'm telling you, we're going to see a lot of that tonight. Sean Burke in that 223. He is missing his hood out there, so you know he's had some trouble. But these guys are still on the run. Matt O'Brien sitting P4. He is about 9 seconds back from our leader. He does have Crooks directly in front of him, so these guys are going super, super close right now.
I'm watching that battle for 9th. Joel Conley with a nice job outbreaking the 60 of Charles Molesley to take that position. Now Robert Reynolds is going to try to follow him through and work his way around that 60 machine of Charles Mosley as they continue to lap around, but still, it's all Andrew Wisdom out front.
It most certainly is. A lot of close guys, like you said, around 10th, 11th, 12th. These guys are running directly next to each other. Robert Reynolds right in the middle of it. He's got Sammy Harrell.
Conley misses the corner. Oh, no. Oh, no, he's going to spin it. Oh, he tried to get the throttle and didn't have the car fully on the track. Got a little bit of that grass. He's going to hit that that outside wall with the right front, so a good amount of damage to that 62 machine of Joel Conley. We know him as Kool-Aid. Well,
yeah.
that front end been bashed in like a wall Kool-Aid would Mr. Kool-Aid would smash through as a little bit of a mistake there. Oh,
really unfortunate to see.
Behind them. Who's that?
And
Doc Holliday.
What's weird is I don't even see Conley on my map here. He's not even showing in here anymore. We have Enrique. He is now currently sitting a lap down. He is out on pit road, so I don't know if he's fixing damage or if he is out. So a couple of guys, their nights have ended a little early tonight.
Yeah, the 45 has a beat up front end, so I imagine either fixing damage or pulling it in there to call it a night. But either way, a lot of these guys in the back of the pack are struggling. Went to the 223 of Sean Burke. He was off track, and as you noted, he doesn't have a hood. The 24 of Dakota Kramer, he looks like a modified without a front end. So the 63 of Giovanni Klein, he looks like a Hot Wheels machine that's been put in a vice. Just none of these drivers look like they're having a good time out there in the back.
I want to go through the list. Let's take a look. We have our leader out here. Take a look. Andrew Wisdom still just holding on super strong, doing a phenomenal job out here. And I'm loving that paint scheme, looking really good. James Holzer in second in that number 42 machine. We have Ryan Crooks out here, P3. Newer to the league, only been here 2 to 3 races. So I'm really impressed with how he's ran these past several races, and he seems like a full package, Jordan. He's got the ovals down. He's doing great at the road course, so I'm excited to see what he can do for the rest of the season here.
Yeah, he's sort of best in class right now behind Wisdom and Holzer, those drivers who are putting down some crazy times in both practice and in qualifying. But yeah, Brian Crooks has looked incredibly strong out there all season long since he joined. He hadn't been there all season long, but yeah, since he joined, he has looked really strong and been really fun to watch.
We have John Honeycutt, who is currently sitting P5, about 17 seconds behind our leader, Jamie Haynes. There's a huge gap between P5 and 6. He's about 29 seconds. Jordan, we're on lap 4 of 30. This is going to be a long night for these guys, and they're already around 30 seconds or more behind our leader. So this is going to be a wild night for these guys. Cole Snyder sitting P7, about 33 seconds behind our leader. P8 is Austin Reedy, about 35 seconds back. Charlie Mosley Jr. and P9. And Robert Reynolds is going to round out. Yeah, side-by-side battle right here.
Yeah, outbroke him into Canada corner. A nice move by that 10 of Reynolds. That'll move him up into the 9th spot.
Great job for him. Charlie is going to move into P10, and Joel Conley, who is back on my radar, he is out here P11. So quite a comeback for him, as he is about 46 seconds behind our leader. Looking good out there in that number 62. We have Sammy Harrell sitting P12. And he's got some company behind him of Giovanni Klein, who we've seen win a race here this season. So
Carroll off track. Good.
no.
So Klein's going to
no.
take that spot.
He does take that. As you know what? There's some jinxing going on here. We got Dakota Kramer in the 24, who, as you said, modified car out there. Doc Holliday, who is off track also, into the wall in the sand, making sand castles.
Yeah, he's building some castles, enjoying a nice day at the beach. You know, sometimes
Oh my goodness.
It's a little bit warm outside. It's summer. You know, sometimes a day at the beach just makes you feel good inside.
And P16, we have Sean Burke in that 223, who's also missing his hood still. And I want to give a shout out to Hall, who has cheered 250 biddies. Thank you so much. And nothing has changed. We still have Andrew Wisdom as our leader, about 2.25 ahead of second of James Holzer.
Yeah, car that's slowly working his way forward is that 10 of Robert Reynolds. He's now closing in on the 58 machine of Jamie Haynes, and I believe he may be a little faster than at least the 11 of Austin Reedy. And as I say that, Reedy made a bit of a mistake, and that allowed the 58 to get to him. They're side by side going through the carousel. That's probably not going to work out too well at 58. Probably going to try the crossover here, but just not going to have the momentum and the room to do that. You're going to want to be single file by the time you get to the kink. The kink is a much slower corner than you think, especially if you've gone around this place in other vehicles like Indy cars or sports cars or things that usually you can flat foot it through there. In these stock cars, you do not want to foot it through the kink. But the 58 of Jamie Haynes working on the 11 of Austin Reedy, and that's going to allow that 10 of Robert Reynolds to close up on them. And I think he is really licking his chops to be able to enter this battle.
Absolutely. Look at this battle just heating up right now. The 58, like you said, is definitely working on Austin Reedy. Austin Reedy just trying to maneuver through, trying to keep it consistent and keep that 58 behind him. Will he be able to do it? This is a long race, 25 to go. It even has the countdown on my screen, but I'll tell you what, that is a long time for this track.
Yeah, really curious that the 58 didn't try to outbrake there. He opts to stay in behind the 11. Didn't get too aggressive. Thought he might try to use the draft to make that move. Instead, very conservative, just trying to keep her on track. The 11, he goes wide, and I think the 58 might have followed him wide. Both of those drivers missing that corner, and behind them the 10 is looming, and behind them the 62 of Joel Conley has had a very interesting race. Every time I catch a glimpse of him, he's passing the 60 of Charles Mosley, who he's since left behind, and then driving off track. So the 62 really having a tough time with his marks, with his consistency, but he has good speed in that machine. Definitely top 10 speed, and he could challenge some of these drivers up here in front of him, especially if they continue to make a mistake, or if they do make a mistake or continue to battle like they are, I should say.
Yeah, you know, it's just one of these tracks where you have to be consistent. Like I said earlier, if you are fast but you're not consistent and you're going off track, it's going to absolutely kill you in the long run. It is better to be a little bit slower, but more consistent and stay on track. But it's very hard to do that here. These cars get very loose. You can spin the tires very easily. You can see the 62 just getting real wiggly out there, getting loose, trying to get off these exits. Very easy to do, but he's got it under control for the most part.
I must have had a small mistake out of the 42 of James Holzer. That lead doubled for Andrew Wisdom. He is now 4 seconds back, but back to that battle that we're watching. Oh, the 11 of Austin Reedy. He gets some wheel hop or something, loses the rear end going into Canada corner. He hits the tire barrier. Jamie Haynes goes around. Robert Reynolds goes around. Joel Conley, who is behind him, also goes wide in Canada corner, noses deep into the wall, and he has to go to pit road. he's going to need a tow to fix that machine. So Joel Conley, not what he was looking for there, as Austin Reedy continues to go wide. Some mayhem in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, man, oh man, that is absolutely wild. So Conley is out now. Enrique is 4 laps down. Sean Burke 1 lap down. And then you have Holiday P14 about 2 minutes behind. So Andrew Wisdom, he might be running into traffic pretty soon here.
And I mentioned earlier that Holzer made a mistake and that lead increased to 4 seconds, but apparently Andrew Wisdom must have done the same. Either that or Holzer put down just the most amazing lap in the history of laps, because he has actually put it really close, and you can see he sees that 9 machine out of his front window, gets really loose coming out of the carousel. Wisdom now really starting to push it. I think he sees that car behind him starting to get a little bit bigger in his mirror. So the race for the lead not quite settled yet. I know a lot of fellow Wisdom makes a mistake.
Wisdom.
He's into the wall. Holzer, he makes it through. He is now in the lead, and you can see smoke pouring out of that 9 machine. That car is gotta be hurt.
Oh man, he is gonna have to nurse that back to pit road. So unfortunate for our leader, who has just had a phenomenal start here tonight at 2-minute 12 lap time here. So really unfortunate to see that. We got James Holzer in the lead now, who managed to hold on to it, make his way past. But Jordan, he is just really working that wheel out here. Just take a look at how back and forth he is, just the feedback from it, and just how close the car is to just losing it. He's really ramping up those RPMs, and man, oh man, he goes off track too. Look at this. He is not going to be in any danger of someone catching him if he can get it back on track. Manages to keep it off the wall, but man, it's a tough one here tonight, Jordan.
Yeah, that entire sequence had actually begun the previous lap in turn 1. Wisdom had gained that massive lead. He outbroke himself all by himself, went into the dirt in the exit of turn 1. That allowed Holzer to put a little bit of pressure on him, and all it takes is one slip up for you to lose confidence in that race car. It's to lose confidence in your braking, in your marks, in your acceleration, and everything. And he ran an okay lap up until that point, but yeah, then that really the next heavy braking right-hander on the racetrack is Canada Corner after turn 1, and that's I think that's just what happened. He didn't really have confidence in himself. Maybe outbroke himself, went out and stuffed it in the wall. And then you saw the 42 machine. He did the same exact thing later on. So this is going to be a race of attrition, and it ain't over just yet. But that 9 car being wounded like it is, it cannot be in good shape. I think he's just trying to maintain as much of a gap as he can here before he has to use that fast car. You can see him off in the dirt and the kink.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Just sliding through the corners right here, and you can see the lap times. Holzer with the 2:13, Wisdom just a little bit slower, but he's got a lot of faster times, a few faster lap times, and he increased it. But Jordan, I don't know what happened, but he just lost what he gained there.
Yeah, I almost wonder if it's on purpose, but he is using he's sticking his right front tire in the dirt, and I mean, he has a ton of front end damage, so I wonder if he's trying to use the dirt a little bit to hook the race car. He is very aggressive on the throttle. That rear end really starting to move about. I think he's trying to do everything he can to make that car turn, to make that vehicle turn for him, so that he can make as much lap time as he can with that thing hurt like it is.
Absolutely. And Tom Flitty in the chat, thank you so much for the biddies and being here. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Yeah, it has been a wild race. Wisdom, who led so much of this race so far, went off track. James Holzer went to the lead, and he's in for a wild ride. Just back and forth on that wheel, just working it for everything he can. But Wisdom, he's making a comeback once again, just closing that gap, trying to do what he can to get back to the lead. It is so close. And then you have P4, who a huge gap from 3rd to 4th. about 23 seconds back
this
from
is
our
gonna be
leader.
interesting. The 42 working on lap traffic. Doc Holliday actually able to get away, and and Holzer puts the right side tires in the dirt a little bit there. A very not great moment. Doc Holliday almost hits the 42. He ends up going off track. He's gonna park her out there, I think, for a little while. Let these leaders go by, as like as you noted, that gap between third and fourth is at about 20 seconds now at this point. So a massive gap to the rest of the field. But the top three relatively close, and right now Ryan Crooks, he has the cleanest car out of any of these guys from what I would assume and what I would the way it would seem. So he's not out of this race either. I believe any one of these three drivers can still win it. All it takes is one mistake, and we have already seen that out of those front two drivers tonight, Frozen.
Absolutely. KRN Racing says these cars do not belong here. It's tough. Like I said, I am glad I am in the booth. I mean, you really get to work out with these cars. You have to be just absolutely perfect. Turn after turn, lap after lap, nail every single piece of the corner, the gas, the braking, when to enter in, when to come out. It is just so technical, and I guarantee you these guys are going to be absolutely exhausted after this race, but they are just handling it so well. Gale Force is out there, says Wisdom, Holzer, O'Brien all went off in the space of 6 corners, and Wisdom, oh man, trying to get it back on track. I am heartbroken for this guy. He is just fighting.
Holzer might have gone off. I think that's maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I can't tell. Yes, he did. He went off just a little bit, and then
it looked like he did.
Yeah, the 9. He went off in the final corner in the 9, trying to do everything he could to make up ground. He saw that, and he tried to push it too hard. And that's just so easy to do. It's so much fun watching these guys trying to push and be safe while they're doing it. But now Wisdom has a lot of pressure from behind, and Ryan Crooks.
Oh my goodness, take a look at this. Ryan Crooks all over the back bumper. He is all over the back bumper of Andrew Wisdom, and this is the guy who led, who had the pole, who was fastest in practice. He is a man on a mission, just trying to defend it, and I think he's overworking the car. And you guys brought up a great point. They're using so much brakes. We're at the point where, soon they're going to want to be pitting. There's guys like Andrew Wisdom, I spoke to him before, and he feels he's going to have to pit twice. There's some guys like Matt O'Brien. He is trying to save his tires, trying to save his car and pit one time. So there is different strategies going on here tonight. We're going to see which one pays off, but how Andrew Wisdom and Holzer are running it, these guys are going to have to pit twice.
Yeah, and Wisdom's having to work that car incredibly hard. The 25 looks to outbrake him a little bit, not going to be able to complete that past the 9 with a really, really good corner through Canada corner. Works his way up again, that rear end just wiggling off of every corner. He's doing everything he can, I think, to make that car rotate. But the 25, keeping the pressure on, that's slowing him down just a little bit. That's letting the 42 machine of James Holzer pull away. But we've seen Holzer as he goes down pit road, the 9 also going down pit road. All of these drivers are going to split this race into thirds as we are at about to complete lap 10 of 30.
Yeah, these guys on pit road, and just right after we spoke about it, these guys are just running way too hard to try to make it on one pit stop. I'm curious with Matt O'Brien, does he think he's going to be able to make it on one stop, or will he have to go
he's coming in?
He is coming in. Honeycutt, he goes and stays out. The first one of these leaders that are staying out, so very interesting strategy.
Yeah, and this is a place where you don't want to be the last person to come in. When everyone else comes in, you want to start pitting, or else if a yellow does come out, which yellows are on with the field spread out like it is, it's doubtful we will get one. But in the event that one comes out, Honeycutt is going to be in a terrible position here. Even with his few cars on the lead lap, it won't punish him too badly. He'll restart in like 10th or so, or 9th. It depends on how many drivers come to pit road, but still, that is track position lost to those drivers he's been racing with. If we get a yellow, I imagine if he's not trying the one-stop strategy, he is going to try to come in this lap.
Absolutely. We had Holzer coming back on track with some traffic out there, made for a very interesting entrance on the track. But we have Kara in racing said, I had to leave because of a foot cramp. That's so bad.
Hey, it happens.
It happens. I mean, especially at a track like this. But John Honeycutt still looking pretty solid out there. I'm curious, like I said, if he's going to come in. But Holzer, only a 2-second gap between him and Andrew Wisdom. Very, very close. You can see it right here. Just wow. He is.
He's using every bit of pavement, grass, dirt,
You
every
name it.
molecule that he thinks has some grip. There's Doc Holliday still in that corner, but he was making up ground on Holzer. Oh, Holzer gets a little bit loose through the carousel. Now will Wisdom push it, seeing that slight mistake? We've seen that multiple times out of multiple drivers tonight. That driver in front of him makes a mistake, you want to pounce on it, and then you end up making a bigger mistake, but both clean on the exit. Now they're going to work their way through the carousel.
Yeah, these guys just pushing so incredibly hard. One guy, he makes a mistake, and then the next second, the other guy does. So they're kind of staying even right now. Very, very close, but I'm looking on board with John Honeycutt, who is our current leader. He has yet to pit. Jordan, is he the only one who has not pitted, or?
I have no idea, but he is coming in
He
this
is
time.
coming in?
So they're, either, unless some of these guys can go 19 laps on a tank of gas and on tires, I believe everybody is going to be splitting this race into thirds. This is going to be a two-stopper, and that is going to cycle James Holzer back to the lead and Andrew Wisdom into second. And we have had an eventful 11 laps. It feels like it's been about 4,500, but just add numbers to it as I go. But
Oh, it's
these
wild.
drivers, yeah, these drivers really putting on a show here of car control. There's not a lot of side-by-side action, but what they're missing, and Wisdom, he outbreaks himself again, trying to catch Holzer. That is going to likely cost him that second spot as Crooks goes around him.
Yeah, Ryan Crooks takes over P2, so he is going to move up another spot. James Holzer has now got a 5-second gap over P2, which is incredible news for him if he can hold on to it. Like I said, these guys are really pushing it to the edge, trying to gain everything they can, and it's causing some mistakes. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's just back and forth so far here tonight, but man, it is wild. Alpha, thank you so much for the host. I appreciate it. You guys are amazing out there. Team Larson, I see you out there. Paul, thank you for the biddies. I appreciate it.
34,
Jebediah, thank you so much for the follow. You guys are awesome. Hope you're enjoying the race. It is absolutely insane tonight. Switching of leads. The leader gets off into the grass, and then he gets back on, and we have the guy behind him taking the lead, and then he gets off into the grass. Jordan, it's insane.
Yeah, of course, as we mentioned, it's a test of car control. A driver that we're watching drives off the track, but we've just seen that multiple times. And now the 42 of James Holzer, he's in the best position to win this race. That car is really fast. He's been able to put down some really fast laps. It's just about him staying mentally engaged in that race car, in his marks, in his lines, in his braking, and that'll be the difference here. If he makes a mistake, that gives the opportunity for Ryan Crooks to take that lead from him, to make up that gap between them. But that means Ryan Crooks can't afford to make a mistake. So everybody on pins and needles every lap with how difficult it seems to be to complete a lap around this place, putting it without putting it on the green stuff. This is a relatively straightforward track. It's, there's some well-defined markers for each corner. It's all, for the most part, heavy braking. It's not a tough place to learn, but it's, as we are watching these drivers, it is very difficult to master in these race cars here on iRacing.
Absolutely. These guys are doing a phenomenal job here tonight. Like I said, I spoke to a lot of them, and there was one that was extremely confident, saying, I'm feeling good. I'm ready for this race, and that was Andrew Wisdom. A lot of guys already congratulating him before this even started. Right now, he's sitting P3, about 6 seconds behind our leader, James Holzer.
And again, the 9 outbreaks himself. It really seems like he has lost a lot of confidence in his ability to get into these corners, and that is just so crazy to see out of a driver who has been so dominant. He's one of the top 1 or 2, 3 fastest drivers everywhere we go, and he was the pre-race favorite going in tonight. And it just seems he's a little bit in his head right now. Getting into these corners just needs to get back off just a little bit. We're not even to the halfway point of this event. Just needs to get settled down just a little bit, start hitting his marks, and stop worrying about the traffic. We'll stop worrying about his competition. And you always hear the saying, race the racetrack, and at a lot of tracks you have to race each other, but at places like, ovals like Darlington and short tracks, and then road courses especially, it is incredibly important. We have a machine off in the wall in County Corner. That is the 223 of Sean Burke. So he's probably lost another part of his front end.
Man, oh man, let's take a look if we can see what happened with him here. Sean Burke, and that 223 just enters with way too much speed into the wall, as Jordan says. Really unfortunate for him. But these guys are trying all that they can. We have the 50 out here, the 58 out here of Jamie Haynes. He's got Matt O'Brien pretty close behind. He was a little bit closer, so I think something might have happened, but these guys are starting to get very well spread out, Jordan, and they stayed a lot closer, longer than I ever expected. In practice, we saw these guys very spread out as far as lap times go, and then the grip increased for qualifying, and the lap times were very well close together compared to practice. So we've seen that here tonight, but they are definitely spreading out. If a caution came out, that would definitely switch things up.
Yeah, that change in grip that we saw might be why we've seen so many mistakes out of these guys. It may have given them a little too much confidence, and that is why they're getting in a little harder, a little heavier. They think the car's going to have a little more turn, a little more grip, and they end up off the racetrack. But James Holzer is having to work a ton of lap traffic. Right now, he has been able to get around whatever machine that is up in front of him. That's the 43 of Sammy Harrell. He still has the 63 of Giovanni Klein and the 23 of Cole Snyder trying to hold on to the lead lap. Or actually, no, I think that is just the machine of Giovanni Klein up ahead of him.
Jordan, we've had 2 more crashes, 1 car incidents. John Honeycutt in that number 50. He is one of them. Goes into the sand. I wouldn't even call that a crash. My system said it was a crash, but he managed to keep it out of the wall, went back on track. And the other one, Doc Holliday, who went off the track. And, a lot of sandcastles being built tonight. It's just how it is. You overdo it and can't get on the brakes soon enough, so off in the sand you go.
Yep, that's oh, what happened? Oh, there's a bit of that gap between Crooks and Holzer has definitely increased. Or wait, hold on, what happened? Something crazy stuff's happened somewhere, it seems like.
I'm taking a look. I don't see anything too crazy yet.
Maybe
but
not.
He is about almost 6 seconds behind our leader, James Holzer. Wisdom, he is falling a little bit also, back in P3. So definitely not going as he planned. We'll see what happens for the rest of the race, but he is still out there behind Ryan Crooks and still holding on to it. These guys are having a battle, and that's only going to help out James Holzer, as he doesn't have anyone behind him in his rear view to say, hey, I'm putting the pressure on you. So as long as he keeps it consistent, he's going to be okay.
Yeah, a change for position inside the top 4 there, or the top 5, I should say, is Matthew O'Brien able to pass Jamie Haynes. So he's up to 4th. Haynes is back into that 5th spot, but as noted, the reason I couldn't see Holzer anymore from Crooks, but that's why I thought something might have happened. But it just turns out Holzer maybe a little luckier, but did a much better job getting through that than Crooks was able to.
Absolutely. These guys are still on the move. Let's go and try to find a close battle here. We have Cole Snyder in that 23, and you know, that's not exactly the closest battle I can see out there. Several seconds behind each other, but these guys are definitely spreading out. Matt O'Brien and Jamie Haynes, I think that is going to be one of the closer battles, along with our second and third of Ryan Crooks and Andrew Wisdom. Again, I will say, Jordan, I'm very impressed with Ryan Crooks. He's only been here a few races, and already he has made it known that he has got the talent, the speed, the consistency. I will not be surprised if we see a win out of him in one of these races this season. It's really fun to watch him, but take a look at this. Andrew Wisdom really putting the pressure on him, trying to find a way to get around. I think we're seeing a battle heat up right here.
Yeah, the Wisdom. I still believe he is the fastest car out there, but he just needs to hit his marks and do a little bit of. Both of them actually made up a little bit of ground there on James Holzer that lap. It seemed like Holzer was getting away, but that not the case. The 9 looks to the inside, the 25 with a little late apex of turn 1 is able to get off the corner just a little better than the 9 who entered a little shallower there. They go down into turn 3 here as they work that right-hander. Now they're going to go through the straightaway, which I believe is technically turn 4 here. Worth noting, Road America numbers its corners very oddly, as this hard-braking left-hander, I believe, is turn 5, according to the official map. They're going to work their way down in here, and very smooth for both of them. The 9 actually does a little better job of hitting the apex of that corner. The 25 a little wide, and that's going to allow Wisdom to go inside of the 25. He just concedes the spot, it looks like. Now he's going to try the crossover. No, he's not. He's going to settle in behind that 9. We'll let him go and see if he could maybe run down Holzer and make a path for him as those two battle, as there are still 14 and a half laps to go here at this massive racetrack, so a lot of time for anything to happen.
Absolutely. McFly, what's up? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the biddies, 100 biddies out there. Thank you. A huge battle with Wisdom and Crooks out there. Wisdom able to make the pass, takes over P2, and that battle definitely held them up a little bit. So Holzer, he's sitting pretty right now, but you can see that gap is slowly closing, and Ryan, wow, that tire hop going over that curb right there, just, man, he's making me nervous. These guys are just running as hard as they can, and I am loving it out here.
Yeah, you got to be aggressive to make up lap time at this point, and both these go the 25, really using the grass there, trying to set up for that left-hander that goes over a tiny little crest. It's a little that crest is a little exaggerated in other racing games, I won't note, but here a nice smooth transition into that final corner. They come off of it very nicely, and as you can see, Wisdom starting to put some distance between himself and Crooks, and honestly, I believe that was the right decision by Crooks to let Wisdom go. I believe that's his best opportunity to try to win this race. That's kind of the benefit of being late to the series, is you can just kind of race for wins, and you can be smart, you can be aggressive at times, and you can be conservative at times. You don't have to worry about every single position and battling tooth and nail for points. And I believe letting Wisdom go was the correct decision, as him and Holzer battling and maybe getting into it will be his best shot at a win tonight, as I think he might have a little bit faster of a car right now than that 42 machine.
We'll see as we are coming up here, but I'm on board with Matt O'Brien in that number 17, making his way down to turn 1. Looking pretty good, but man, oh man, we said it in chat. They said O'Brien in a real no man's land, and he is completely by himself out here. No one around him. He's got a lot of work ahead of him. Something has got to happen in order for him to take over P3. We need a caution. We need Ryan Crooks to mess up. I don't see it happening. He has been too consistent, too good of a car out here for any of that to happen. So what he's got to do, just keep that thing steady, keep it on track, and keep Jamie Haynes behind him in that number 58.
Yeah, our top 3 now 43 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. Just This is a bit of a butt whooping by these guys up at the front of the racetrack, but still Matthew O'Brien putting down very, very decent lap times, putting down some solid lap times for what we've seen in practice and what we've noted we've been able to do in these cars in our limited time in them. So O'Brien really strong. It's just those front three really have it together here at this massive road course.
Absolutely. Todd G, what's up? Thank you for the sub. I hope your racing went well tonight. I know you guys have a lot of fun. I appreciate you being here. Matt O'Brien, though, he is still on the run, still on his own little island. Let's take a look at Jamie Haynes. He's got Cole Snyder behind him. Minute 46. So I know Jordan. Yeah, something must have happened right here. Jamie Haynes must have gone off track. He's got Cole Snyder just creeping up there about 5 seconds back. And, you know, it happens fast. You mess up and people can catch up to you very quickly. Cole Snyder's going to be trying to do that.
Palm 34 cheered. X 250.
We saw John Honeycutt earlier. He is in P7. He went off track and managed to bring it back on, but it definitely hurt his position out there. He is about 2 minutes behind our leader. And back in the pack, P8 on, they're at least a lap down. So, man, it's going to get wild out here. 13 to go. Jordan, I'm expecting these guys to pit in a few laps. You guys got a hype train going. Let's go. Hall with 250. McFly with 165. Thank you. We got Todd G with the sub out there. You guys are awesome. The real question is, will Holzer make a mistake? You know, we saw it early on, but I'll tell you what, Combat, once he has been out in front and not a lot of guys, you know, right behind him, he's been okay. And Matt O'Brien, Jordan, I just got notification he has wrecked. Let's take a look at what happened. Coming down the hill, trying to make that left-hander, just overdrives it. So easy to do. I can't even say that I call that a wreck. This thing's going crazy on me. He kept it, but he definitely did take that wide. He's still off and running. Tom Flitty with the 100 biddies. Thank you. James Holzer, man, he's got the consistency down though, Jordan.
I am back. I just got knocked out by a storm. But,
well, hello.
I think we're back. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed that or not. But
well, yeah, I did talk to you, and I was like, okay, he's gone.
Well, I didn't mean to be gone.
That's okay. At least you're back. Andrew Wisdom, what is this? Gets super loose. I mean, he saved it, but man, oh man, that was a sight to see right there. Great save on his end as he is now 2 seconds behind James Holzer. Ryan Crooks, P3. He is about 3 seconds behind our leader. These guys are closing the gap and closing it fast. Something must have happened to Holzer. Play the Jaws theme. You heard it right there. Team Larson, thank you for the biddies. I appreciate it. Yeah, Combat says he done wheel hopped. Kool-Aid. Aw, man, he says that was terrible. It was terrible. It's brutal out there. Like I said, I'm glad I'm out here. You don't even want to know my lap times. I ran a few laps last night, and it was just, I'm better off up here, okay? Road courses aren't my thing yet. I don't know that they ever will be, but... Let me know if you're back in, Jordan.
I'm at sim loading 80-90%. Oh, it kind of got a nice little jump, and now it stopped loading. Oh no, it's at 90%. We're stuck. Oh no, 93.
Ripperonis.
We're back.
Let's take a look at the lap time. These guys, to qualify, they ran a 2:12. Right now on older tires, 2:16, 2:15. Crooks faster than O'Brien. Let's take a look at Andrew Wisdom and his times, 2:14. That's going to be his faster. And James Holzer, 2:14 also, but a little bit of slower lap time. Wisdom is definitely faster lap after lap, and that is why we're going to catch him off the track. He's trying to get back on. That's going to cost him even more. He heads to pit road. Wisdom going to take over the lead once again.
Yeah, that was actually a very smart decision by Holzer. He already lost all that time. Might as well go to pit road so you don't lose all of that momentum down the entire straightaway. So actually a very, very heads-up decision by Holzer there to get to pit road. I imagine the 9 and the 25 are both going to be in this next time around.
Tom Flatty cheered. X100.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. McFly, of course I added you, man. Nothing but love for you. You're awesome. I did. No
Home
jumping in the
34
ARCA cars.
cheers.
Quick trip to the
X250.
infield care center. Ripperonis. Tom with 100 biddies. Hall with 250. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Combat says his tires were shot and it showed. Went on to pit road. Wisdom. I guarantee we're going to see these guys. Who is that off track?
That is
Cole Snyder?
Yeah, that's Snyder in the 23 machine.
Home 34 cheered.
I recognize that car.
X500.
Unfortunate to see for him. He's actually P6 right now. A lap down. John Honeycutt directly behind. Well, I can't even say directly, but he's behind him in P7. And you guys are crazy with the hype train. What is this? Thank you.
Team
Hall with
Larson 5
500.
cheered.
Team Larson with the 100. You guys are awesome out there. Let's go on board with Wisdom. I want to go on board with him as Ryan Crooks is 2 seconds behind. You can see I'm revving close to that limiter right there. Trying to go around the kink as quick as he can. And I'll tell you what, that is a tricky turn there. Uses all he can.
Yeah, that was he got through there as hard as you physically pretty much can without wrecking
Without
that thing.
dying.
Now, yeah, Wisdom really good through Canada corner, the 25, also really smooth, and then just pushed just a little bit hard on exit. And yeah, there's these
Man.
tires are really falling off
Yeah.
bad. These guys really slide around on old tires.
I can't imagine that they're gonna stay out. I'm thinking they're gonna go in as we are coming up. But yeah, here they go on in. Holzer, he was already in the last lap. We'll see how he maneuvers out. And man, hard entry for Wisdom out there. Crook stays out. Interesting strategy for him. And you guys, level 2 hype train. What's up, Yotes King? How are you? Tom with the 100. You guys are awesome. Level 2 combat.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that decision for Crooks. It seemed like the tires
Yeah.
had started to fall off a lot there. Nothing really to gain by staying on them, but they'll have a little bit fresher tire. I mean, as long as this racetrack is, the tire fall off happens in the middle of a lap. So maybe with a lap extra tires, he can that's almost equivalent to about 2 or 3 laps at other tracks that we would race on. So maybe that's his thinking, that he'll be the strongest to finish this race. But the 42
Team
machine,
Larson
he is
5
going to
cheered.
pass by the 9
X100.
of Andrew Wisdom. So Holzer back to the lead, able to use that outlap and those better tires to put some gap between them.
Just jumping the curve out there. Just absolutely crazy. This guy just all over the wheel. You guys, you're going to get tired of me going into this view, but take a look at this man and working this wheel back and forth and just all over the place. He's going to give me a heart attack out here. Thank you guys for the biddies. Hall with 250, Larson 100. You guys are awesome. Mary Jean says, you go, Honeycutt. Let's go. Yotes, I'm doing great. Hope you are too, but Holzer seems a little bit less crazy with the wheel right now with the
Mr.
fresh
Met
tires,
31
so
cheered.
we'll see how he goes
X100.
on here, but Crook's still in the lead. Still has yet to go in.
And the 9 getting just a little bit too aggressive with the grass, almost turned it around. It did made a nice little save, nice little catch of that race car, but being very aggressive with what you can run around this track without the car trying to bite back at you. But really pushing hard to try to catch that 42 of Holzer, and he's going to have really that second lap is probably going to be your better lap once the tire pressures get up. So Holzer is probably at the optimum lap time he could have. then he will start falling off. The 9 of Wisdom likely going to be in that range the next time. So that'll be where I believe Holzer is going to have the advantage for this lap. And then from here on out, it's going to be up to the 9 to close that gap with the slightly better situation that he is in with his tires.
Yeah, it is getting crazy out here. And speaking of crazy, you guys in chat went from a level 2 to a level 4 in like 2 seconds. Thank you. Hall, Tom Flitty, Mr. Met, McFly gifting out subs to 5 guys. Man, oh man, thank you so much. Team Larson, you guys are on it tonight. Appreciate that. James Holzer taking back the lead as Ryan Crooks goes on to pit road, taking those fresh tires. As you said, Jordan, I'm curious how that is going to affect his race moving forward. I think that's going to cost him some time.
I think he's sped because he is still on pit road right now. Either that or he might have gotten some damage or something happened to that car because he is still on pit road and he should not have had that long of a pit stop.
Yeah, I mean, he's losing a lot of time here. 78 seconds, 79. Something is going on. Damage, I'm not quite sure what, if he sped. Really unfortunate to see because he was having a great run. It is not over for him just yet, though. You guys in chat, I swear you're killing me. Jungle Cat Wizard, thank you. Team Larson, you guys are awesome. Thank you. 42 and the 9. Absolutely. Right now, that is who is between. Ryan Crooks lose so much time. I'm heartbroken for him.
Team Larson 5.
You can see him right here, Jordan.
100.
P3 still doing okay. Matt O'Brien behind him. P4 with a minute 10 behind our leader. He's got about 20 seconds or so that he's behind Ryan Crooks.
I'm still watching these front 2 up here. Really, the 9 is better than Holzer everywhere around the racetrack except for that left-hander underneath the Corvette sign, and Wisdom just taking a little too much grass in that corner every time he goes through there, and that ends up upsetting the car, and he loses a lot of time and almost basically loses everything he gains around the rest of the racetrack. So that's really, if he can clean up that one corner, he's definitely going to get to that 42 of James Holzer. But Andrew Wisdom really pushing hard, trying to get everything he can, and maybe in a couple of places that's not the optimal lap time for him.
Yeah, we're on board with Andrew Wisdom right now, and man, oh man, he is just really working it, trying to catch up to James Holzer. And we've seen James Holzer win a few races here this season. This is race 20, and I can't even believe I'm saying race 20. It has just flown by. But
a lot of lap cars in front of these guys.
It's about to get super interesting and a little scary for these guys. Let's go on board. Oh my goodness, Jordan. Look at all these cars. That is not what you want to see. Oh my gosh. I'm a little nervous for him.
Tom Flitty cheered.
You know, I'm
he really has to check up big.
Oh, wow.
Opted not to go inside. Oh, the Burke goes way off track. Reynolds is going to actually race the 42, and Holzer bumps him out of the way to try to take the corner. That's
wow, that's one way to do it.
I mean, yeah, the 10 has the right to the racetrack if he wants to race, you know, and the 42 just kind of bumps him off the racetrack, and all that's going to allow the 9. The 50 saw how aggressive the 42 was being and overdrove it. Now the 42, he makes a mistake overdriving the car. That allows the 9 to get to him. The 9 gets into his bumper, and he probably has front end damage. The 42 probably has rear end damage, and I'm about to run out of breath trying to call this.
Look at this. We have the 42 just sliding through the corners. We have Andrew Wisdom catching up to him. You know he is going to go for it. Oh my gosh, these guys just sliding through the corners. Just absolutely insanity. These guys are really heating up the battle, and it is about to get wild.
Wisdom has to stay disciplined here. He is the faster car. He's watching the 42 make mistakes, but he can't be the one that makes an even worse one. He really needs to just hit his mark, settle down, and wait for that 42 to open up an opportunity for him to make that pass. And right now, watching the 42 with that 9 all in his mirror. That's going to happen sooner than later. There are still 7 laps remaining as they hit pit road. The 42 tries to break the draft. The 9 not really interested in drafting with him just yet. He's close enough. He's within striking distance. I think he's being patient, and that's what he's going to need to do. He's going to win this race.
It is going to come down to the wire, I do believe. And we have an interesting thing going on here in chat. They say Crooks might be in a good position here. And I have to give you guys a super huge shout out. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the hype train. You guys are absolutely amazing. Mr. Met, Tom Flitty, Team Larson. We have McFly. We have Hall. You guys are absolutely amazing. We have Choo Choo out there, absolutely. But man, Andrew Wisdom going on the outside of the corner, trying to make it work side by side through the corner. We have Holzer in the grass. These guys still side by side. Man, Andrew Wisdom has a little bit of a lead sideways. He's getting hooked by him out in the sand. Oh man, brutal right there.
Yeah, that's the 42 just leaned into his left rear to make that pass. Just basically all but wrecked the 9 car. We can barely hear him on the radio. I turned it down, so I can't tell exactly what he's doing, but the 9 sounds very animated, and I'm pretty sure the 42 probably doesn't care. Seems to probably think he did the right thing there, but I don't think hooking the guy in the left rear that made a very clean move around the outside of you is the right move, and that's what he had done to the 10. If the 42 goes on to win this race, those are what won him the race, but he has not made any friends here as the 9 goes through the kink. We're really losing it. He's going to have to calm down here. There's still going to be 6 laps remaining. He is the faster driver. He just needs to calm down and hit his marks here, but now he's going to underdrive, it seems, Canada corner.
Yeah, he can definitely get this back, but Ryan Crooks, I want to take a quick peek at him right now. I really feel like whatever happened to him on pit road possibly ended his chances for a win. I don't know if it was a speeding penalty or if he needed to fix damage, and I didn't see a lot of damage, Jordan. Really unfortunate circumstance for him, but a top 3 is a great day at a road course if he can keep that. Jordan, it looks like battle number 2 heating up for these guys, and I'm a little nervous on what's going to happen. Holzer definitely going to defend it.
Wisdom might be a bigger man than me, but I might just put to the bumper as hard as I can to the 42, and he dove it in there real deep. The 42 also dove it in there real deep. I think he's expecting a hit now. As they go into this hard-breaking left-hander, will James Holzer continue to stir that and pile up? Will he stick his hand into the beehive again and try to rough up the 9 cars that go into the corner? He gets slowed down.
Wow.
Goes to the outside, tries to get a lot of arc into the corner to get that run, and actually still, even with sliding the corners and missing the apex, gets a pretty good run out of that corner. But that's the 9 of Andrew Wisdom is your new leader. Holzer doing everything he can to hold on to this lead or to try to get it back.
The man who got pole, the man with the fastest time in practice, he is back to the lead. But can he keep it as we still have 6 to go? It's going to come down to the wire. McFly, I'm not a cheater. You guys all can play all the sound effects for free. I don't want to charge you for those. Play what you want. It's there. The big purple purple. The purple button. Press on that. You can play any of them. Oh, Holzer going off a little bit, taking that super wide, and he is just really pushing that.
Yeah, the 9 looks really smooth right now. The 42 looks like he's struggling just a little bit with making the laps. And he uses a lot of dirt there. He's going to almost spin it out, and I think that's going to be pretty much the race here if the 9 can keep it on track. And of course, from what we've seen tonight, that is absolutely not a given. But I believe the 42 is going to need a big mistake out of Wisdom to be able to catch him back. I don't think the 42 really running that good a lap time right now. Probably in the 9 car's wake. As fast as this place is, you don't really think of aero tight being a thing in stock cars on road courses, but I mean, these drivers are hitting about 180 or above at the end of these straightaways, so a lot of speed in this track. It's really tough to run somebody down behind them.
Absolutely.
Oh, his wisdom
Man.
gets off a little bit.
Wisdom gets off the track, and Holzer just trying to save it coming off the corner, getting on the gas so soon, trying to gain that momentum into the straightaways. But you can tell these guys are so loose. They really have to take care of their cars, and it is just such a fine line on getting on the gas and when to brake and how to turn the car. These guys, the cars are just so front heavy. They have such a huge challenge, and man, this is wild. This is a wild race right here for the lead.
Yeah, my favorite thing to watch is when that car in front makes a mistake. That car in back of them, that second place car, makes an even bigger one because he sees that mistake and wants to capitalize on it. And we've seen the 42 just really lining up those rear tires. It's to the point where it's going to be kind of a miracle if he makes it around, because he is really angering those rear tires. And again, worth noting, he has a lap older tires than that 9 machine and 2 laps older tires than Ryan Crooks. Crooks well back after what I can only assume was a pit road miscue, but if he stuffs it in the wall, Crooks still has a chance at second position.
Absolutely. I'm going to go through the field here. We have Matt O'Brien, P4. Still looks like he's on his own little island. Someone a little bit behind him. That is Jamie Haynes. He is about a minute 40 seconds behind. And then Robert Reynolds, who I practiced with last night, pretty solid. He's sitting P6 with John Honeycutt behind him. I'm curious if he's going to be able to make up a spot, or will Robert keep him behind?
Yeah, that's actually a really good battle for 6th. Cycling through here with you as Honeycutt holding on to that rear bumper of Reynolds, but Reynolds started very, very deep in the field, dead last actually, and noted he moved to the field quite nicely the first couple of laps. Obviously plateaued here once he got to these drivers that are equal with him, or I mean, just to put it bluntly, light years ahead of him. But really, really solid run for that 10 car of Reynolds, especially starting at the back of the pack.
Absolutely. Cole Snyder, P8, having a strong night. Top 10 finish. Currently sitting a lap down with teammate Giovanni Klein, who we're on, and he is in the grass trying to get back on the track.
He's not on the racing line.
Yeah.
He's letting the leaders go by, I think.
Yeah. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be pulling off the track like, you just go. Just go ahead. I'm not getting in your way. Doc Holliday in that number, well, blank car, but it is the number 88. He is currently sitting 3 laps down with Sean Burke, who we saw earlier with a lot of damage, currently sitting P11 in that 223.
Doc Holliday 3 laps down, but in a top 10 position here. So that's, you know, it was a bad run, but it was also a really good run. The way it worked out, but struggling to get through the gears there coming off the corner. I wonder if that transmission or that engine might be a little bit damaged as he continues to pace here. But I mean, he finished in the top 10 at a road course. He had an okay day.
We're on board with John Honeycutt, who is sitting directly behind Robert Reynolds in that 10 car, currently going around the carousel, which I can tell you. What do you see, Jordan?
Oh, I clicked on James Holzer and saw him in the grass in the kink. I don't think he hit anything, but oh yeah, he did. He absolutely pounded the wall in the kink with the left side. Not a lot of damage to that car. He's gonna be able to finish it out and finish second. Honestly, he could pit and repair a little bit of damage and come out still in second place, but I believe that solidly puts the win in the hands of Andrew Wisdom, barring a massive mistake. Oh, he's out in the dirt again.
Yeah, he is in the dirt, and his chances of a win are definitely going down. But Andrew Wisdom, we've seen it time and time again tonight. One guy messes up and the other guy messes up. They switch back and forth. So will we see that again? But Holzer, what is going on back here? He's just losing more and more time. Almost 7 seconds behind. I was really waiting for this battle to heat up for the finish here. 3 to go. Andrew Wisdom.
Oh, that car's gone. That car has nothing. And with that damage on the left side, yeah, I mean, it seems to be real difficult for him to make right-hand corners.
Unfortunate ending for him.
Oh, that thing's hurt.
Man,
I don't
that
think he
thing
can go in a
is
straight
really
line.
hurt. Let's go on board with him, see how he's working that wheel. I wish we had a little damage model here to see, but he is definitely struggling.
Yeah, maybe he just tried to get too much throttle there, and the rear tires didn't cooperate him, but it really seemed like that thing was just going yawed to the left, trying to go in a straight line. But either way, he has a 50-second gap, or did have a 50-second gap, to that third place car. This is where you just gotta don't really worry about your lap time. Just keep it on the gray stuff for 2.5 more laps, and he will come home in that second position. But he can still see Wisdom, and if Wisdom does make a big mistake, he wants to stay as close as he can to capitalize on him. But I think discretion would be the better part of valor here. But that's not really in Holzer's playbook, as we've come to see.
Going to be close to see how these guys finish, but if Wisdom can keep it consistent, keep it on track, and stay out of trouble, he will be your winner here tonight, and which was what everyone was expecting, congratulating him before he even got on track. And let's take a look. That would be his 5th win of the season if he brings it home tonight. Man, oh man, and I'm loving that paint scheme. These guys bringing out the 4th of July paint schemes tonight, some of them. They did a great job. Brandon says the 42 burnt up the rear tires pushing so hard. He did a little bit more than that. He got some damage. He's hurting out there. 20 seconds behind now. There's no coming back from that, Jordan.
Yeah, there's no coming back from that. And right now, not in danger of losing that position, but he does have lap cars, and one of them is the 10 of Robert Reynolds. So, might we see a little vigilante justice from what we saw earlier in the race win the 42? Just pretty much shove the 10 out of the way to open up his entry into the corner. So, will we see a little bit of payback from that 10 machine, or will he even have the chance to get to him as we see the 63 go off track in front of him?
It's gonna be very interesting. See what? Okay, that was weird because I just saw that Holzer was 6 seconds behind Wisdom, so I was very confused. I'm like, wait a minute, what happened? But no, it corrected once I changed. But man, oh man, that is wild. McFly, he's losing the lug nuts. It's terrible. I've lost like 300,000 one night. It can be really brutal too. Ryan Crooks. Oh, I go on to Ryan Crooks. He is in the sand. Overdrove the corner trying to get back on. Man, oh man. Really unfortunate for him. Still has a lot of time to hold on to it though.
He didn't overdrive it. He stuck the left rear in the dirt. There's that little access road on the left side whenever you're getting in the braking zone into turn 1 that goes outside of the track, and he cooked the left rear right at when those cones start, and that's just sent the car, pulled it sideways on him, and did a great job of holding on to it, honestly, as sudden of a snap as that was. But yeah, as we've both noted, that was not a good moment, and he just absolutely blew a corner there. So not the finish Crooks is looking forward to, but it's going to take a lot for him to lose that 3rd spot.
Jordan, I don't know about you, but I'm looking at Holzer, and he is just slide jobbing through every corner here. How does he have any tires left? Take a look at this, you guys. Going through the corners, just sliding it through there, trying to keep the speed, but man, oh man, he is just burning the tires off of these as we are on our final lap here. Andrew Wisdom, we have Ryan Crooks, who has just crashed again. Let's take a look at this, or was that from the previous thing? It's so, these guys are so close though. Man, oh man. Andrew Wisdom, if he can hold on to it, he will be the winner here tonight at Road America. James Holzer, if he can hold on to it, he's going to take P2, and Ryan Crooks, the newest member of PSES in the Cup Series, will take over P3 if he can hold on to it.
Yeah, right now, Crooks going down into Canada corner. Meanwhile, the 17 of Matthew O'Brien just now entering though, but Crooks is in the dirt in the exit of Canada corner, so O'Brien still has a shot. Like as these laps tick off, all these drivers really pushing hard to put themselves in a position to capitalize on mistakes, and they're making mistakes of their own. And honestly, this is the driver this is working out the best for is that 42 of Holzer, because yeah, like as you have mentioned, that car is absolute dog meat, and he's doing everything he can to try to nurse it back home.
Oh
But
boy.
this
Boy.
yeah, oh no.
Sorry, he's just so sideways. I don't know how he's even holding on to it at this point.
But regardless, this race completely in the hands now of Andrew Wisdom. He works the kink very, very, very conservative through there. A very, very casual line down that back straight heading into Canada corner. On the brakes, really smooth, really early, smooth downshifts. Not using any of the dirt or grass, just barely kissing the rumble strips. Working his way through the final corners. And he will come off the final corner to take the checkered flag here, Frozen.
Let's knock on wood, because anything can happen. But here we go around the final corner through the front stretch, and he will be your winner here at Road America. 5th win of the season for Andrew Wisdom. Huge congratulations to him. Let's take a look at James Holzer as he nurses this thing back home, just completely trying to hold on to it, and he is just struggling. Jordan, take a look at this as he's coming around the final corner.
Oh yeah, that thing is that thing has no grip in it, but he's doing everything he can. He's just gonna nurse it home, and
is he out of gas?
Fuel? No, I don't know what that was. Car just kind of stopped on him, but all right. That was mysterious, but
I don't know if that was a catching the breath, but he made it home. P2, Ryan Crooks. Let's take a look at him. Still making his way around the track here, but man, Andrew Wisdom, what a huge uphill battle for him, but he brought it home.
and Crooks honestly might be the most disappointed of those drivers again, with I guess a pit road penalty. Just a slight miscue cost him so much track position, so much time, but still gonna come home third. Was really doing a great job challenging those front two for the lead most of this race, but Crooks gonna come home nicely in third. It looks like Matthew O'Brien solidly in fourth, and Jamie Haynes will come home in fifth, but those drivers still finishing out their final lap, so a mistake by O'Brien could lead to Haynes taking home fourth. We'll see what happens.
We will see what happens, but I'm getting these guys into the booth. We have Andrew Wisdom here, and I want to take a look at him. Just a huge battle for him all through the night. Andrew, a huge congratulations to you on the win tonight. Take us through your race and just watching you guys go back and forth. You'd make a mistake, the guy next to you'd make a mistake, and just it felt like it was a crazy thing going on throughout the whole race.
Sorry, I think my mic was muted. It was one of those races where, for me, it just kind of felt like everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And luckily enough, I kind of had some decent one-lap pace, so whenever I would screw up, I could kind of make it back up over time before I screwed up again. Had a couple off tracks, which were bad enough, and then I think, bended. I think it was in Canada corner and went straight into the tires. And then kind of once I finally made the gap up, then we had a moment of kind of being forced off the track, which is a little bit unfortunate because it's not a position you ever want to be in. So, but luckily it all worked out. I think maybe that overcut on the final stop helped us out just a little bit, just because of how much the tires wear here. But I do think the track gripping up a lot definitely made it an interesting race.
Absolutely. It was definitely an interesting race, but you did a phenomenal job tonight. So 5th win of the season, 5th one at Road America. So a huge congratulations to you. You had a hell of a run.
Appreciate it.
All right, Jordan, over to you.
Yeah, here with the 42 of James Holzer. Came home P2, led a lot of this race. Little contact with a 10, little contact with a 9, trying to pull out all the stops to win this race, and ended up having to nurse that thing home. That thing looked out of control at the end. Talk about your evening here at Road America.
Oh, I was just having fun at the end. I was just drifting around. I don't know, didn't really have anywhere to gain, so I was just trying to relieve my frustration. Made a lot of mistakes tonight, and ultimately there at the end, I had the short pit because I don't know why, just car wouldn't turn on the last corner. So I went for pit road because I didn't know what else to do, and yeah, I don't know. We had enough of a gap that I thought maybe we had a chance to battle, but just ultimately lost a lot of time to the lap cars and got damaged due to lap cars. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was definitely slower than Wisdom, and he made less mistakes, so it's a good win to him. And apologize for running him off the track because we both kind of got in there too hot, and I locked up my tires and he was spinning around. So just glad we could both recover, and I'm glad you got the benefit of the doubt because he definitely had the best car on track.
James Holster with a solid P2 finish. Back to you, Frozen.
All right, we have Ryan Crooks in here. Solid P3. I'll tell you what, a lot of these drivers had an uphill battle, but man, oh man, watching you come into this series and seeing how consistent you are out here, I'm super excited to see what you can do for the rest of the season. Take us through your race tonight, Ryan.
Yeah, I thought had a pretty clean race. My goal was kind of just to try to stay close to the 9 and 42 just in case they got into it. Made a mistake coming down pit road. I actually got into pit road really good, and I think I sped midway down pit road, so got hit with a speeding penalty, which kind of killed my shot to win. But yeah, I was hoping the 9 and 42 may get into it. I know I heard over the radio they got into it, and I was like, man, if I didn't make that mistake on pit road, I could have been there, but. Clean day. I don't think I ran into anybody, thankfully. That's kind of rare for a road course race, but yeah, I'm super excited. Good 2 races for us, so excited for next week.
Absolutely. You did a phenomenal job. And like I said, I saw that pit road incident. Jordan said it was probably speeding penalty, but either way, I was heartbroken for you because, like you said, I think if something happened with the top 2, you may have had something for a win here tonight. But I will not be surprised if I see you out there with a win in the future. So a huge congratulations to you, top 3 tonight.
Thanks so much.
All right, guys, next week we're headed to Atlanta, and it is going to be a fun one. I hope to see you there. You guys were absolutely amazing tonight, supporting these drivers, supporting the stream. I love you all. Thank you so much for the subs, for the chats, for the bits, for everything. You guys are awesome. I will see you next week, same time, same day, Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to Hotlanta. Jordan, I'll see you next week.
Hey, shake and
Indeed.
bake now.
All right, see ya.